absolutely our ambition to make sure that we're getting and reaching that 75% target.
Well, that's basically impossible. The sewage crisis in the UK has been going on for years. Yesterday there was a new chapter in the scandal as one company was accused of dumping untreated sewage into Lake Windermere. Against that backdrop, key water industry figures were grilled by MPs in the Environmental Audit Committee. I'm Lucie Heath, I's Environment Correspondent. We're going to fact check what they said.
Looking at the big picture, you've seen the number of serious pollution incidents in England fall to its joint lowest ever level last year, but there were still 44, and that is far too high. It needs to get down to zero as fast as possible.
So yeah, a serious pollution incident is when a member of the public or water company notices something's wrong and then they report it to the Environment Agency. And while it may be correct that this is gone to the lowest number, that doesn't kind of account for all pollution. What he doesn't say there is that the number of sewage spills actually reached its highest number on record this year. These are part of the everyday functioning of water companies, so they might not always be recorded as a pollution incident, but they do have a massive impact on the environment. In 2023, water companies spilled sewage for 3.6 million hours, and untreated waste was discharged more than 450,000 times.
I think the most important probably development on the industry side is, as you say, the submission of plans for £96 billion of expenditure. Subsequent months, it's now increased very slightly to 100 billion. There's 10.7 billion specifically on storm overflows, which will cut spills from storm overflows by about 40% by the end of this decade.
Okay, well, it is true that water companies are planning to invest more money than ever before on their infrastructure. The downside is that all of our water bills are going to go up. Next year, everyone's water bills will go up from an average of £7 per month. There are also questions around whether water companies will be able to spend all of this money. In the past, they have been forced to give money back to customers because they've not been able to invest what they said they would.
According to the Environment Agency figures, the percentage of self-reported incidents now stands at 83%, which is the highest it's ever been. It's not been higher than that previously. That still means there's 1 in 5 or something that is not being reported by the water company, but instead discovered most frequently by members of the public who might be walking past a manhole or something and seeing something go wrong.
So water companies might be increasing the number of incidents that they report themselves to the Environment Agency, but there's still a lot of questions over whether they're reporting everything. Last year, a BBC Panorama documentary accused one company, United Utilities, of downgrading a bunch of its pollution incidents before it reported them. United Utilities has denied these allegations.
We heard that from the Rivers Trust that currently 16% of rivers achieve good ecological status. The target under the Water Framework Directive been taken through the Environment Act is to achieve 77%.
It's absolutely our ambition to make sure that we're getting and reaching that 75% target. It is worth noting that the data sets that the OEP looked at were from 2019, and we have made significant improvements at the speed in which we're wanting to roll out our plan for water.
Well, that's basically impossible. I don't think there are many people left who believe that the government's going to reach its target of 77% of rivers having a good status by 2027. Currently, only 16% of our rivers reach that target, and a report by the government's own environmental watchdog last week said that it's nowhere near on track to meet that goal.
We've announced a whistleblowing portal, and we've also increased the amount of monitoring that we're doing from 7% of storm overflows in 2010 to 100% now, which gives us an ability as a government to understand where we allocate resource.
The storm overflow monitors are things that are fitted on the pipes that water companies have that shows when they are dumping sewage. The government has made water companies monitor 100% of these, but an investigation by us earlier this year showed that there are 7,000 more emergency overflows that are not being monitored. These are slightly different than storm overflows, but they're still responsible for dumping sewage, and right now the government has no idea how much waste is being released from those.